In Germany around Christmas time, with kids were naughty or so, the Saint Nick used to come. It's kind of part of Santa Claus with a sack, and if the kids were naughty, they would try to stick them in a sack. My two older sisters, they were like in their early teens. They had decided they were going to pull a prank, and my sister Linda, whom you know, she was dressed up as Santa Claus with a big gunny sack, and then another older sister, and a friend. So there was three of them, and all of a sudden, my older sister and her friend come running in. Saint Nicholas is coming. Saint Nick is coming. My brother and I. Well, Herman was about a year and a half older than me. He starts running, hiding to the bedroom, and I'm after him. So both of us run into the bedroom, the other end of the house, and climb up on the bunk beds and hide underneath the pillows, and we were there for about a minute, and I said, I'm going out there, So I walked out there. By then, Linda had come in with a gunny sack, and the two girls, but the two girls held the sack open, and my sister, they tried to get me into the sack, and I was fighting them. My dad was sitting there with this with the company, and my dad was saying, "Don't let him, fight him, don't let him get you into the sack," And so at one point they couldn't get my feet in, but they had my butt in there, and they were holding it, and I was struggling them, and all of a sudden at one point I raised myself up real hard, and my head hit Linda underneath the chin. And the fight was over. They dropped everything and they quit.
It was cold, I know that, because my mother was a widow then already, and it was tough. And we walked to church together on Christmas Eve. Ooh, it was cold. It was cold. But we might have gotten an apple or an orange, maybe some nuts on the paper plate, but that was about it. I don't know if we had any then, but later my brother, the oldest one, we had a Christmas tree, but real candles, and we would light them, and it was nice. Yeah.
The war broke out. I remember the day it happened when it was on December 7th, 1941. I was outside playing with a friend of mine. We were playing baseball, and my dad come out of the house, and he said, "They bombed Pearl Harbor, they bombed Pearl Harbor." I said, what's Pearl Harbor? I never heard of it. Didn't know what it was, but I found out later. And so he packed us all up, and we came back to Michigan because he wanted to be with his family during the war. My sister had got killed in front of that school, and that Christmas, that was in December, I did receive a Christmas gift. It was a little metal car, and it had battery in it, and the lights would shine up. That's the Christmas that I had. It was one little car that year.
1957. That Christmas was very special. Richard and I got engaged on December 14th, and I was so happy and excited to show off my ring. 1959. First Christmas in Michigan. Christmas Eve in the First Baptist Church in Benton Harbor, First German Baptist Church in Benton Harbor. There was a little piece of home because there was so much German, and that kind of drew us to Benton Harbor, to Michigan. No more sad Christmas celebrations. The Lord was so good.
Well, these are my childhood memories. After the end of World War II, with God's help, we fled to Germany from Poland, where we had lived since the German government took over in 1939. We escaped under grueling circumstances to Berlin, where many displaced persons had gathered to be sent on to the designated Allied zones in Germany, the American, British, Russian, or French. Ours was the British zone. It was in northern Germany, in Lower Saxony near Bremen. You've probably all heard of Bremerhaven. Well, this is very near that. It was a small farming village with beautiful woods and streams and a river flowing right through the village. Every German citizen with property had to surrender some part of their domain, their farm, whatever they owned, to incoming German refugees. Our new home was a small room, actually in a stable, a cow barn full of cows. The room was used by farm workers tending the animals. It was probably the most wonderful gift given us. Mother, Omi, my precious grandmother, my little brother, and myself were happy to be in a warm and little smelly corner of the world where we could lay our heads on straw mattresses, cook on a small coal stove, and thank our God for sparing our lives. Never did I see my mother nor my Omi cry or complain about their circumstances. We sometimes wonder and question the whys of our lives. God makes no mistakes. He has a reason for everything. That's my story.